What is going on? What is going on? We are back in the JC Lounge. What's up, y'all? What is good? Shout out to Logan. What's going on, Logan? Shout out to everybody on the TikTok side, YouTube side, man. What's going on, man? Hey, look, man, it's always great to talk football. We got like 30 minutes, you know what I'm saying? I got some editing that I got to do. I got to get my daughter, so y'all already know how life goes with that. But let me turn this joint down a little bit. Let me know if it's too loud, if you guys can be able to hear me. Shout out to Perkman. What's going on, bro? What is good? What is good, man? You already know, man. We chilling, man. Hey, look, man. Football is 365 days out the year. Okay, we're running these college breakdowns. We got a lot of things that's going on because the thing is, when it comes down to these Dallas Cowboys, there's so many things that they got to do. Building in the interior, making sure you're bringing in these defensive ends. There are a plethora of players that we have that's out there right now that we're not going to have next year. So the draft is going to be very, very important. It's going to be good to be able to see it, how we break these things down. Shout out to all the content creators out there, man, because all the work that we putting in. But this team got a lot of work to do. Shout out to you, Scrappy. What's going on? He said you a Carson Wentz guy. Oh, no, I'm not a Carson Wentz guy, man. Come on, man. I can't be a Carson Wentz guy. Hey, what's the word, Jalen Body? What's good, dog? Hey, listen, man. Hey, I'm just coming in here just to talk a little bit of football, man, because I haven't been on live in a while. I've been running these all 22s, but you already know I had to come in here and tap in and say, what's up, bro? Like, it's crazy, you know, when they talk about Dak Prescott, a lot of people have been going so back and forth with him, and I got so much respect when it comes down to a guy like Dak. It's hard to be able to find quarterbacks in this league. We all know that, and it's funny because, you know, when you do have something, when something is gone, you know, you're going to miss out on a guy. You know what I'm saying? And I think that, you know, with his type of skill set, being an MVP, they talking about him being an MVP discussion or however, like the top three or the last 3 or 4 guys in the MVP. But that's just a testament on what he did throughout this season. But it's not going to just fall down to just him. You got to have good defense. You got to have good offense. It got to be a collective thing when it comes down to Dak Prescott. And what he can be able to do on the field as well as being a leader off the field. I mean, you need these type of players, but at this point now, when you see Dak Prescott, it's time to win. It's time to win, and there's no excuses for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. All right, let's see. What's up, Kenzie? What's going on, man? He said, I swear, JC, you always come in clutch when I have nothing else to watch. Hey, that's what's up, dog. Hey, man, you already know, man. I definitely had to tap in here, man, just to get y'all thoughts on everything. I've been doing, you know, been a little busy, but you know, we all good though. You know, it's always Cowboys, everything. We're doing a lot of things on the back end, man, but it's always good to get it off our chest. You know what I'm saying? Say it with your chest, man. You already know, man. What's good, y'all? What's going on? Hey, shout out to everybody on the TikTok side. What's good? Let's see, my man JVB boy, what it do, bruh? What it do? B-Bird, what's the word, bro? Hey, what's good, dog? What's going on? He said, what up, JC? I got time today. I'm trying to tell you. You already know, man. You already know. Let me know what's good, man. We definitely just wanted to come in here. So, you know what I'm saying? If you want to tap in or whatever and say what's up, you know what I'm saying? Let me know. And then, you know, the next like 10 minutes, we'll definitely tap in or whatever. So, let's see. Shout out to King David. He said, the first thing they need, let Quinn go, get Belichick, a defensive coordinator, Rabel as linebacker coach. It's crazy, man, because I do have a lot of respect for a guy like Bill Belichick, and I'm not sure if Bill Belichick is going to find a job as a head coach. So, I mean, quite possibly, I mean, that can happen sometimes. I mean, sometimes you got to take a step back to, you know, to go forward. So if you can be able to bring in a guy like Bill Belichick, I'm just not sure how Jerry Jones will feel with him being in this, you know, with the organization. You know how that goes. But at the same time, with his winning mentality and what he can possibly do, bringing guys in, at this point now, you got to look at everything within the defense. I know that you got guys like Micah Parsons. We have a lot of special players. We didn't have Trayvon Diggs this year, guys. And seeing guys like Deron Bland being able to step up to connect with guys like Stephon Gilmore, you got to give those guys a lot of credit. But once we get into next year, hopefully Trayvon Diggs and all the rest of the secondary can be able to stay healthy. And once we get to the defensive line, linebackers, we can fix that stuff up within the free agency and inside the draft, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because Brian Broaddus, man, he was on fire, yo. He was on fire. Hey, shout out to Mike Archie. What's good, bro? He said, what's up, JC? I got some more names in your message. I got you, bro. I got you. Right now, I'm working on Tavondre Sweat right now. You know, with me, man, I do so much back end work on as far as editing and stuff like that. I got to make it engaging as much as possible for you guys when I run these all 22. So once I get to these running backs, I'm definitely going to tap in because I feel as though, that running back position is going to be huge as well. And I know they got some free agents. Y'all give me your thoughts. Y'all give me your thoughts when it comes down to guys like Derrick Henry. We did talk about that a couple live streams ago, but I feel as though, when we get into the draft, you can find so many good running backs, man. There are a plethora of good running backs out there. All right, my man said Derrick Henry. Yeah, man. I mean, I like Derrick Henry. I definitely have a lot of respect for him. And I think that the type of way that we run ball, if you have a physical running back in there like that can be imposing, I think it opens everything up. So, I mean, if he can stay healthy, if he can go out there and just do his job, I mean, hey, that might be an option, bro. Definitely might be an option. Yeah, he said we need a young Derrick Henry. Yeah, you might can find him out there. You probably can find him out there, quite possible. All right, let's see. Shout out to Eastside. What's good, bro? What is going on, man? All right, my man said it's been too many excuses for Dak, like everyone saying it's the defense, which is understandable, but the defense did good in the last game against the Niners in the playoffs, but Dak kept throwing picks. But the thing is, man, like I said, man, it's a collective thing. It's not just Dak Prescott. It's not just the defense. That, with me, at this point now, guys, when we look at the Dallas Cowboys and everything that we've been through, we can't just sit there and just finger point just one player. Like, you got to look at everything. And remember the last live stream or a couple of live streams ago, I told y'all it felt like the culture just felt different when I visited Texas when we went to the Eagles game, me and my wife. It just seemed like everything was different from the Cowboys Stadium all the way to the Star in Frisco. Do they have that culture, bro? That's the thing, man. That's where it all starts off first. And bringing in the right players, Dak Prescott, I feel as though that he can do it, but he has no excuses now at this point now. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much talent out there. And one thing I did want to talk about, though, like, I'm not going to just keep on just trying to or hearing people just shoot at the front office for real, bro, because when you think about this year, a lot of us was excited. I know each and every one of y'all were excited when you think about guys like Stephon Gilmore, bringing him in, Brandon Cooks, bringing him in and re-signing guys like Jonathan Hankins. I actually felt as good this year than a lot of years. So the front office, they have been trying, but they just haven't gotten it right all the way. That's what it all comes down to. Just give me y'all thoughts, when it comes down to Brandon Cooks and Stephon Gilmore. Do y'all feel, that y'all feel good about him playing next year, of those guys playing next year as well? You know what I'm saying? Because with those guys, like with me, I always want to see veterans. You bring these veterans in with top-notch young dogs, that's how you can be able to get the championships, guys. You know what I'm saying? And, with Stephon Gilmore being able to groom guys like Deron Bland, just make him feel comfortable and just understanding what these offenses are trying to do is just going to make everything better for the defense. You know what I'm saying? But when you're playing against certain teams, I mean, if they're going to scheme you out, you got, be on top of your game. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, let's see. Shout out to Mike. He said it was the whole team. All you can say. Only two players stepped up. It was Ferguson and Cooks. Yeah, that's all we had on the defense. Yeah, that's all we had on defense. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Yeah, with Ferguson, man, he was playing incredible all throughout the year, bro. A lot of people thought that he wasn't going to be the guy, and Luke Schoonmaker was going to be the guy. But just seeing a guy to be able to, block, you can line him up in line, in motion, as well as in the slot. I think that this guy is really going to turn up. But, when you think about guys like Brandon Cooks, I love that guy being at that slot position because of his speed, the separation and stuff like that. But I'm not trying to say that we shouldn't, look and focus in on the wide receiver position, because it's always good to bring in more wide receivers. But when you have a guy like Brandon Cooks that's a veteran, that's always good. Definitely always good. They said, but they stopped going at him. Who are you talking about, going at Brandon Cooks, or are you talking about Jake Ferguson? Because they need to hit Jake Ferguson. That's important. You definitely got to hit Jake Ferguson. You know what I'm saying? All right, my man said Cooks and Gilmore was a start. Yeah, definitely. It definitely was a start, bro. And you have to bring those guys in. We'll see throughout this offseason. Brian Broaddus, I mean, he was completely chewing up. I mean, he was on fire. You know what I mean? And with him, it's so much pressure when it comes to guys like Mike McCarthy. I mean, playing on his 1 year on his contract. We'll see how it all plays out. And just like Brian Broaddus said, I mean, you want to bring guys in. If you want us to get to there and take that next step to get to where we want to go, you got to bring guys in. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. But when you're going like 12-5, 3 years straight, that says a lot about Mike McCarthy. I don't care what nobody say, man. It's not hard to win in this league. It's hard to win in this league. Let's see. My man said Ferguson, the tight end has always been a secret weapon in football. Yeah, big time, bro. Big time. And the thing is with Dak Prescott, with his type of skill set, you need the tight end to get involved when it comes down to him. So being physical like he has been throughout the season is great to be able to see that from guys like Jake Ferguson. And I think that, with his skill set, he has that all-pro type of feel, like the way that he plays, being a bully and stuff like that, man, and being one of the leaders and actually showing up in playoff games, man. So my thing is, when it comes down to guys like Dak Prescott, I know that they're going to talk so much trash about him. You hear about CeeDee Lamb's mom, which is so crazy, but talking craziness about him. Then you hear about, what's his name? Micah Parsons' brother saying things about him as well. Like he got to kind of channel that stuff out and just lock in and focus. You're going into a year 8 or year 9 right now. And it's at that point right now where you reach the peak of your, of your career, where you need to understand what these defenses are trying to do. It's going to be critical. It's going to be critical down the stretch, and we'll see how it all plays out going forward with him. So, all right, let's see. Shout out to Herbert Webb on the Facebook side. What's up, man? What's going on? All right, my man said we need a four down bully running back. Yeah. My thing is, we will be running the running backs in the next couple of weeks. We've been tackling linebackers. I've been talking about Jeremiah Trotter Jr. I did do a video on Jeremiah Trotter. I really, really like him coming out of Clemson. So we'll see. One thing about me, I'm real big on NFL bloodlines. When you think about all the players that played in the NFL, the Diggs brothers, the Bosa brothers, the Watt brothers, Asante Samuel and his father, Joey Porter and Joey Porter Sr., Joey Porter Jr. and Joey Porter Sr., you want to go get guys that have NFL bloodlines. And usually whenever you can be able to strike players like that, that's when you can be in the biz, man. So you've been in the running. So we will be talking about a lot, though, as far as the defense as well as the running backs, bro. Let's see. My man said, I saw Dak Prescott at Quick Trip holding hands with the man. Chill, bro. You out here. Yeah, come on, man. You geeking. All right, let's see. We need to restock on offensive line and defensive line. Yeah, man, big time. You definitely got to restock on both, bro. Like, the thing is, when you're playing against these teams in the playoffs, like if Philadelphia is there, even though they've been to some mops this past year, the 49ers, Detroit Lions, you want to be able to establish the line of scrimmage on the offensive line and defensive line. That's why I say the interior, even though, the guys like Jonathan Hankins, we signed him back. We drafted Mozzie Smith. Why not talk about guys like Tavondre Sweat? So that's why that's my next video, my next all 22 video. You already know. All right, let's see. All right, let me see. Let's go here. My man said reality. Okay, what's up, reality? What's going on, man? I seen you a little bit. What's going on, man? He said the Dallas Cowboys got me effed up right now. We need youthful speed, cut Cooks, Gilmore, and draft better, do better in free agency. See, bro, I got to give you the womp on that one, bro. I can't agree on that, bro. Because the thing is with me, I'm real big when it comes down to bringing in veterans. You want to bring in veterans. Yes, you want to be able to draft youthful players to be able to groom them. But when you think about Gilmore, you think about Cooks. Gilmore did a good job. Like, some certain games, you want to make sure that you put him in better position. Having him off the line of scrimmage and not pressing corners, that's not good. A lot of these wide receivers, you can be able to do rock steps. They was catching him with rock steps and stuff like that. So that goes to show that you want to make sure that you have this guy close in guys' face to be able to remove them, reroute them, and that's how he can be able to get leverage. So just being able to just scheme him right is going to be critical, at this stretch of his career. But as far as Cooks, bro, I think that this guy did really, really good, bro. Really, really good. All right, let's see. Belichick going to Dallas, man. We'll see, man. I'm not gonna get the hopes up. I think Dan Quinn, he might be on the move. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I did want to say about Dan Quinn, I do have a lot of respect for him. He's done a lot for our defense, but at the same time, you want to get to the Super Bowl, you want to get the championships and stuff like that. Micah Parsons just bringing. I think that he utilized Micah Parsons a lot in certain games, but it was just questionable once he got into certain other games like playoffs or, division games or something like that. But the thing is with him, man, I just think that, if he's not with us, we still have a lot of talent on the defense. We can be able, once we get things going, I think that we'll be fine. But we just got to figure it out once Dan Quinn makes his decision. Shout out to Jazz. What's good, Jazz? What's going on? What is going on? What is good, Jazz? I know what you on break? What you on lunch break? I said I had like 30 minutes because I had to get Melina. So All right, my man said if DQ needs to hire their DB coach, if DQ goes, you need to hire the DB coach. Oh yeah, hey, Al Harris, bro. I got a lot of respect for Al Harris. We'll see what happens with that with him. But he's done very, very well when it comes down to guys like Deron Bland, Trayvon Diggs, and usually, whenever you do things like that, you get promoted. You know what I mean? And he's been in the NFL for a long time. He knows Mike McCarthy very well. Things like that happen. So the better coaches, if you're at a certain position and you get promoted to defensive coordinator, man, that's always a good look. Definitely always a good look. All right, let's see. But as far as like the offensive line, just thinking about guys like Tyron Smith, I know it's a lot of other guys that we're not going to have this year. Who do y'all think that we should sign, though? When you think about Tyron Smith, when you're thinking about the Jordan Lewises and all that good stuff, who do we bring in here, you know what I mean, to mix what we got going on? All right, let's see. Let's see. My man said, I love both Gilmore and Cooks. We need to replace LVE. Hey, LVE's neck is messed up, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if he's going to be playing it next year. He said, but let everyone go to let anyone else to step up. Yeah, man, you got to let a lot of these guys go. I feel as though when you're thinking about that, the linebacker position, Damone Clark, right? I like Damone Clark, but at the same time, just because Damone Clark got over that spinal fusion surgery, right? And if he was a second string or third string, that's not always a bad thing. But you want to have a first stringer in there that is not making bonehead plays. You want a guy that's physical. You want a guy that can be able to read and diagnose and roam sideline to sideline. And he has shown that sometimes, but he needs to show it more on a consistent basis if he's going to get burned on the field. But at this point right now, with Dak Prescott getting older, you don't want to wait, man. You want to bring in these dogs, man. And that's why we've been talking about these linebackers going in. But when you're thinking about the whole big picture, that's something that we're going to have to lock in on. Marquise Bell, they stick him at a strong safety or something like that, man, because when you're playing the offensive lines, once you get down to these big games, man, they can be able to wash you out of plays. And, you know how that goes, bro. You know how that goes. All right, let's see. My man said, hopefully we don't shop in a bargain bin come free agency. Hey, they better not. They better not. If they're going to continue to keep doing this, I mean, if I was Mike McCarthy, I'll lose my mind. I'll go right upstairs and lose my mind because you're planning on, I mean, he's coaching on his last year of his contract. Go get guys. Go get him. Go get him. It's important. But I don't know who's going to all be out there because a lot of these guys get signed early. But we'll see. We'll definitely see. All right, let's see. My man said, shout out to B Bird. He said Tyron Smith should be resigned. Hey, let me know if you want to tap in, bro. I ain't know if you want to tap in if you said that or not. Let me know, bro. But yeah, as far as Tyron Smith, like, bro, you have to resign him. That's very important. But just don't have him practice throughout the week, though. You know what I'm saying? Just have him rock out and, see what happens with him. But still draft offensive linemen, though, bro. You have to draft offensive linemen. It's imperative. Tyler Smith being able to do what he do. A lot of those guys. TJ Bass is one of the guys that I'm going to be looking for as well, bro. All right, let's see. All right, okay. Okay, you want to tap in? Let me see. Let me see. I got like 15 more minutes. Let's see. All right. Let me see. All right. He said Dak needs to take a pay cut and we'll have more than enough. Hey, look, man. Hey, look. Like some of those guys need to take a pay cut. If anything, bro, just bring in more talent. That's my thing. Hey, bring in enough talent to make Mike McCarthy say, I'm ready to make him run. You know what I'm saying? And give this guy another opportunity. That's what's going to be important, bro. I remember saying I was hoping Lions would play the Cowboys. Yeah, man. But, the Lions made it through. It's always good, to see, these teams get towards the end. But there's no excuses for us, bro. You know what I'm saying, at this point. All right. Let's see. Shout out to E. He said, okay, I read that. All right. He said, where you get that hat? Hey, I got this from Texas, man. I got this hat from Texas, bro. You know what I'm saying? I got this from the pro shop, man. You already know, man. I was out there. But yeah, man, just seeing the defense as a whole and a lot of these guys, man, the strong safeties, we're going to be looking at strong safeties as well. Like at this point now, man, none of these guys are safe. Malik Hookers, I know he's getting older now. When you think about guys like Donovan Wilson, none of these guys are safe. Just continue to keep on bringing in talent. That's what you got to do, man. It's big. It's huge. All right, let's see. All right, can you hear me, bro?
I can hear you, man. Can you hear me?
What's good, man? What's going on, brother?
Not much. I just want to tell you, appreciate the show in the middle of the week, man. So
I know,
end
right?
of the week, I appreciate you, man.
I know I was off today, man. So I said, man, let me tap in real quick before I get my child. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is my first off day in a while too. So that's why I said
that's clutch.
Yeah.
That's clutch. How you feeling though, man? How you feeling about everything? I know it's been so much that's been going on with Brian Broaddus talking about the team, and with so much pressure on guys like Mike McCarthy. Like, do you feel as though that this team needs to bring in more talent early on and really start striking as soon as we get, to this off season with all these players and free agents?
The issue is, and when I talk to Scott Steele and Boss, I'm big on culture. Mm-hmm. And the problem is that there's no sense of urgency here because the Joneses can have a 5, 10, 15-year plan because they're not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times they're making decisions with no sense of urgency. Like Mike McCarthy might be like, hey, man, I need players to win this year. And they're saying, hey, we just going to keep the course. Why? Because we ain't going to lose our job if we go, 4-13 or whatever. We're going to be here no matter what. It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
So that's why they don't have to go after these high. When was the last time the Cowboys got into a bidding war for a free agent?
Oh man, it's been a while that we know of. You know what I'm saying? But with Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones, they had talked like they did, but I don't think that's the energy, bro.
It was that cornerback. I can't remember his name.
You talking about that guy that used to play for the Raiders? Moza Equan?
No.
Guy's name.
No, it wasn't. No, I know you're talking about. No, it wasn't him. It wasn't Asamoah. I think he's actually before him. I think his name, but he played with us for a while. We actually signed him. He's our last big money free agent signing. I can't think his name now, but we hadn't signed anyone since then, and that's been over.
Oh, you're talking about Brandon Carr.
Brandon Carr. Thank you, Brandon Carr.
Brandon Carr. Yeah,
that was our last big free agent signing that we actually went into free agency, and we had to actually kind of entice him to come financially. Yeah. We haven't had anyone since Brandon Carr that has come here that's been a top flight free agent. So they just haven't done it. Now, the thing that will make them do it is the end result from this year, because what the Joneses are big on is selling hopium, like hope for the future. And they know bringing McCarthy back does not bring hope for the future, right? And so they may have to do something because they always want to be on the fans' good side, because they always, it's sell with those guys. Yeah. So we'll see what they do, because there's some holes, man, on this team. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, I was very disappointed. I'm not a draft guy, but last year, just look at the draft and listen to what everybody said. He said most people said they've never seen that quality of run out the running back position coming out like it was last year. They had about 15 guys that one day could be, contributors in the backfield. And to say that we drafted none of them, man.
From last year's
draft.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, it was so many guys in there. Yeah, and it was, and we just kept going through these rounds and rounds and rounds without picking up one.
Yep.
But the thing is, man, we have to shore up the running game, and that's three different things. I think our offensive line is good enough, to be totally honest with you. Maybe we get a different center. But it's the scheme, man. These other teams are running more exotic scheme, pulling and everything else. You're just not going to be able to line up 5 guys and just, block the guy in front of you. That's just not going to happen anymore. The more successful running teams, man, have a good scheme and a good back end play. But the problem is, the deal is sometimes those guys don't even have outstanding running backs. They just have really good blocking schemes. And we have to rely on the running game and then in turn stopping the run. So you look at our team and you say, okay, we're really built from the outside in. Like, we have better wide receivers than we have, guards.
I would want it to be inside out. You know what
Well, the thing about it is, guess what? Offense don't win you Super Bowls, but it sells tickets. And what are the Joneses all about? Selling tickets. So the thing about Baltimore is not an aesthetically pleasing offense, but it's a very efficient offense. Like when Jackson wasn't on against Houston last week, the first game they played, what they did is they relied on 2 things. They relied on their running game and they relied on their defense. And then Jackson kind of caught on and then came on and then they ended up winning the game. When has Dak been able to rely on his running game and his defense?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's been a very, very long time with it, man. That's why I think about it. Like the run game is so important. And you say that you don't really watch too much draft, so I'm definitely gonna be breaking down a lot of the run plays, I
appreciate that
running prospects that's gonna be coming out this year, bro. But I think that, that running game is very important. That offensive line, we got to make sure that's right. You did mention that center position. There is a guard. There is a center that's coming out of Oregon that I really, really, really like. So I'm going to do a breakdown. I think his last name is Powers. I've been doing some homework on this guy. Really, really
great
good
name.
I think that this guy is going to be one of the guys that could be in the first round, that it could be a Travis Frederick type of situation where you're trading back, going to go pick up that guy from Oregon. I'm just saying, I just want to call that out right there because he's one of the guys. I mean, he can climb the second level. He can strike. He's very, very powerful. He's a great player on and off the field. So I'm so big on building from the interior to the out. Just like you said, man, we're so good on the outside. A lot of flashy players. Remember, culture. So culture reminds me of building inside out, B-Bird.
Yes, it does. Yeah. And it's just not sexy. That's what it is. And most football people understand that, it's not sexy, but that's the way we got to build it. You look at the two best teams in the league, which I would say San Francisco and Baltimore. What they have is a strong defense, a strong running game, and they allow their quarterbacks to be efficient and don't put too much pressure on them. I was around for the 90s, but beyond that, we'll take that out. And you asked me what my second favorite offense was. It was the 2014 Cowboys because we had Tony Romo. We had a great offensive line, but we didn't rely on Tony Romo's arm, but we could if we needed to. We had DeMarco Murray, who ran for 1,800 yards that year, and we were a running team first. Yep. And then, hey, if you want to load up against the run, we got Dez, we got Williams, we got those guys we could throw to, and our tight end Witten. We got those guys, but that's not what we're based off of. We're a running team. I love that. And I wish we could have kind of went back to that, but we got so far away from that this year. Because the thing about it is we only had one formula to win. That is our offense gets ahead, dictates to the other team's offense what they're going to do because they're behind, and make them throw, and our pass rush will get to them. Remember, our defense wasn't a stopping defense. It was an opportunistic defense. And so that was the only formula we had to win. That's why when Green Bay went up early, it shocked us. And we were like, okay, what do we do now? Our formula doesn't work. That doesn't work. What Green Bay did doesn't work against San Fran, and it will not work against Baltimore because they have defenses that can stand on their own, and they have a running game that can set the tone, set the pace, calm down the quarterback until everything comes around. The Cowboys put everything on Dak Prescott to throw for 4 touchdowns, 350 yards a game. And if he doesn't do that, we're not going to win.
We're not. Yeah, that's the problem. And the thing is, like, to beat the Dallas Cowboys, you got to start off quickly against them. And just seeing what Green Bay did, I mean, it was hard to watch. But the thing that was making me so angry about the whole situation, guys, is just not having a chemistry with him and CeeDee Lamb. Like, that is what threw me off. And sometimes these quarterbacks, it takes time. Things can get a little bit shaky throughout the games. No quarterback is perfect. But when you see a team, I mean, completely the whole first half, just nobody was in sync. They got to figure it out once they get to this point. The thing is with me, B-Bird, like, I know, and I don't try to, I'm a big picture thinker. Like, I know that this team is good enough to be able to get to the playoffs, and I know that they will. They're going to win games in the regular season, but I want to see what this team can be able to do when the lights are bright and when it matters the most. Dak Prescott, shout out to him. I know he got the MVP. They've been talking about him being top 3 or top 4 in the MVP discussion. But at this point now, us Cowboys fans, we want to see this guy be able to step up in the biggest games, and the time is now, B-Bird.
But you got to give him what Purdy has. You got to give him what some of these other people have, which are great defenses.
How much do we need, though? Because it's not going to be perfect everywhere, B-Bird. That's my thing. It's not going to be perfect. Every team is not perfect everywhere. How much does Dak need to be able to succeed?
So let me ask you a question right now. What does he have now defensively, and what does he have now running game-wise?
Well, the pass rush is there. I felt good about the cornerbacks. It just depends on the scheme. Being able to, you're placing guys like Stephon Gilmore off coverage and Deron Bland off coverage. That's a scheme issue. You know what I'm saying? Putting guys like Javon Curse at the free safety position, that's a scheme issue. But when I think about the defensive line being able to get after the pass rusher, the questions remains: can they be able to stop the run? Defensive tackle, that's a question. Linebacker, that's a question. Those are the two biggest things that I feel as though right now, as far as the defense, man, is the stopping the run and the linebackers, bro.
What happens is when teams figure out, like, hey, let's run the ball. I'm gonna tell you a team that think about it, that really set the tone for this whole thing was Arizona. Arizona ran the ball, ran the ball. And what ends up happening is now the Cowboys can't pass rush. Why? Because they're not passing the ball. So now it makes Michael Parsons not as valuable in this game or as effective in this game. Why? Because we're running the ball all the time. Why can't we run the ball? Because we stayed ahead all the time. So I understand what you're saying, I think what the Cowboys are doing is asking Dak Prescott to be Peyton Manning, asking him to be Tom Brady, and he's not that ilk of a quarterback. He's not that quarterback. He's not Mahomes, man. He cannot win these things. And let me tell you something, Mahomes, in all his playoff games, he had a running game that averaged 130 yards per game in all his playoffs. So even Mahomes have had help where he could balance the line out. And we saw what happened when he didn't have that line to stand behind against Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl. They roasted him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And the thing is with me, like, that's what I've been saying for a very long time. Like with Dak Prescott, he don't gotta be Patrick Mahomes. He's not as good as Patrick Mahomes, but that's okay. That's okay. This guy could put up numbers. Dak Prescott will scorch you if he's hot. But at the same time, just like you said, there's other things building from the interior outside, making sure you got that run game, doing things like that. If they don't fix this, it's going to look good in the regular season, B-Bird, like, man, you've been saying. But once you get to these big time games, when you're playing these big teams, this one you fall into trouble. So little things like that, man, it's going to definitely be huge, going down.
What they're doing is teams are just flooding the zones back there, saying, hey, we're going to control everything with our front four, and we dare you to run the ball. And Mike McCarthy, what it is, I think, man, to be honest with you, I think you have coaches that love to pass. I think Kellen Moore was one of those. I think Mike McCarthy is one too. And so at the core of them, they're a passing guy. So they don't really they don't value running game as much. You actually got to get somebody here that call plays, because you can institute whatever scheme you got run-wise or whatever. But if that play caller is a passing guy, he's going to lean more to throw the ball than he do run the ball. You got to get somebody there with a mindset, hey, man, we're going to run the ball. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be effective running the ball. And we just don't have that right now.
So you're not believing in Mike McCarthy being able to call plays?
No, I believe in calling plays, but at the end of the day, like if I hire a quarterback as my offensive coordinator, then he's going to throw the ball. Why? Because that's what they do. But if a running back is my offensive coordinator, at the essence of him, he's a run guy. So that's what he's going to do. And so it's hard to get Mike McCarthy to commit to, hey, we got to run the ball, this, that, and other, because at the end of the day, Mike McCarthy threw the ball just as much as Kellen Moore did, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he did. He definitely did. That's why I say, man, that run game is critical. I will be looking at some wide receivers as well. And I like what CeeDee Lamb did all throughout this year. I mean, this guy has really climbed up the charts. So just knowing that you got a talented player in a CeeDee Lamb. Now, let's see what happens with Brandon Cooks. I mean, this dude, had 8 touchdowns this year, and he really turned up once we got to after the bye. So we'll see what happens with that. But I mean, this offense, they have so much talent, man. And I'm not going to sit there and say that, this team can't get to the Super Bowl, but there's things that they have to clean up. And I think that the running game is going to be huge. With Derrick Henry, how you feel about Derrick Henry? I definitely want to ask you that, because there's been some talking heads talking about Derrick Henry, bro.
Well, I like Derrick Henry. I think what you have to do is you bring Derrick Henry in, but you got to bring in a new running scheme too. Because if you would have brought him in last year, then it would have been the same thing. Man, there wasn't much running room for those guys. So you got to do some things what Detroit does, some things that San Francisco do. These teams that are more successful. I'll listen to Sky, listen to some other people, And it's so easy that I think it's ego driven that you don't go steal plays from these other teams that are very successful running the ball. I think it's ego when you don't do those things because, hey, if somebody does something well against you, you say, hey, man, that worked pretty doggone good. Can we do that? Yeah, we can do it. Hey, let's institute that. Your playbook at the end of the year should have some things that other teams have done against you have been successful in the league. If you're not doing that, you believe way too much in your scheme, and you don't have any flexibility to learn, to be honest with you. But I think Derrick Henry, if all his medicals check out, I think he'd be an upgrade, to be honest with you. But I think we got to get a new scheme, man, where we open up some holes, some things that were used against us this year.
Yeah, because like that offensive line, man, I just want to make sure that offensive line is intact. Just like, Tyron Smith, you were saying that Tyron Smith, you would want to bring him back this year. It's important, you know what I mean? Because at this point now, yes, we do know that this guy has been hurt a lot of years, but not playing throughout the whole season and not practicing all throughout the whole season. Maybe that might be a good thing when you're at this point in age. But the thing is, having him be that left tackle just in case something was to shake up. TJ Bass, I do want to see more from him. I did like what he did at the guard position with his time being able to play. But with Brock Hoffman, him as well, having the ability to be flexible. You can use him at that center position as well as that guard position. So those guys stepping up, because at this point now, when you think about Zach Martin and you think about guys like Tyron Smith, those guys are getting no younger, bro.
Yeah, and so Tyron Smith, a lot of people get kind of upset about him because he's often hurt. But the thing about it is he's not asking for, he doesn't demand a lot salary-wise. So then you say, okay, what am I getting for him? Well, I'm getting 10 games out of 17. Yeah, but you're not paying, $21 million a year. You know what I'm saying? And so what it is, I think you find his replacement, but you still keep him on the team because he's valuable. Because when he's out there, man, he's doing a heck of a job. He probably played at a Pro Bowl level this year in the games that he did play in. So you don't want to get too emotional behind like a guy like Tyron missing games. Those things are going to happen. But, I think next year, because I think what it is, man, we're at a time to whereas you don't blow this team up. That's why I really wanted Belichick here, to be honest with you. Bring some accountability to kind of quiet some of the circus, make it like a regular football team, a regular franchise.
Normal team. But the question is, does Jerry agree with that, Bieber?
Well, no, that's why he's only gotten 2 alpha coaches in his career, which was Jimmy and Bill Parcells. He don't want to. Jerry's more interested in playing with his toy, being the guy that if we do win, he'll get credit. He doesn't want an alpha coach in there because the alpha coach will get the credit. So he people say Jerry wants to win more than anyone. No, he wants to win his way more than anyone. And that's why for 28 years, going on 29 years, we have not won. And so, we won't get a Bill Belichick in here, because if they win, then who's the change? Bill Belichick was. He's afraid of that, man. And so he'd rather lose until he passes away. He'd rather lose the way he's doing it than win another way. And that circus, what it is, man. That circus goes down to our players. That's what it is. Being a Cowboy in itself makes you more famous than being a Pro Bowler for the Carolina Panthers. I'm talking about just being a backup special teams guy. You're more famous than a starter for Carolina Panthers initially when you come out. And so none of this stuff is earned. It's just given to us. We are an entitled group of football players. And so, we pour love all over them and everything because they're Cowboys. They're on national TV every week, Monday night, Sunday night, whatever night, Thursday night, Thanksgiving. So they get all the pub and what they're doing, they're cashing in on it, man. And so, but they don't, but nothing's earned. I don't mind it happening if it's earned. Like Micah's podcast, people's like, well, he can make money. The Kelsey's got podcasts. You know what else the Kelsey's got? Super Bowls. Yeah. So at some point in time, when you get those things, I don't care what you do now. You've already brought me to the podcast.
Look, that's why I say, man, you might have to get the pass. Once you can be able to get a Super Bowl, then you can be able to be on podcasts. Because I feel as though, bro, when you think about these players being on podcasts and stuff like that, I just think that it's a distraction. But that's just my opinion. Like, remember I was telling you before, bro, about just being in Dallas and just seeing all the stuff that they had in Dallas. I mean, everything is bigger in Texas. Everything is moving so fast, bro. I was driving, right? We rented a vehicle on Turo, right? And they have the most fastest roads, bro. It's just so much happening. I'm over here driving. I'm driving somebody else's vehicle, man. I'm just like, man, everything's bigger in Texas. So much is just happening. so much glitter and glam. It makes you just question how much are these guys actually buying in, because just like Troy Aikman said, he said a lot of these guys that play for the Dallas Cowboys, they're going to have a career doing something else in Dallas, or the popularity is at an all-time high for the Dallas Cowboys. So it just makes you question how much these guys really want it, man. But I know one thing for sure, that Dak Prescott wants it, man. And they can probably say as much as y'all want. TikTok side, much love to y'all. I know a lot of y'all saying y'all tired of Dak, but I just feel as though, when you got a quarterback, man, you just got to hang on to him, because if you do lose him, then, hey, we might be mopping out for a long time, y'all. Get ready for that.
JC, let me ask you a question. As far as if you saw Jason Garrett on the street, talk to him for 15 minutes, and he wasn't a Cowboy coach, would he be anything that you would remember? He's pretty bland, correct?
He's bland. Mm-hmm.
So how does he get on TV, on national TV, and get a broadcast job?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
He's a former Dallas Cowboy coach.
Yeah,
how many
exactly.
Former Dallas Cowboys are in the media? We probably can name 20 of them right now that are in the media only because they were former Dallas Cowboy players. And that's just what it is, man. It's just that we are so popular. And I don't know if you know this, but in New England, they won, I think, 6 Super Bowls, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that the New England people would rather a Boston Red Sox won world championship than those 6? They are really Red Sox fans, and they're Celtic fans first, and then they're Patriots fans. But down here in Dallas, in Texas, in America, they're Cowboy fans first, right?
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying is, even New England, after Super Bowls, they still have to fight for their spot down there in Boston, man. But down here, it's just given. And so that's just one of those things, man. That's why my biggest thing, if somebody says, okay, what could change this team? The culture. Who can? Belichick. That's why I really was rooting for Belichick big time, man, because if we change the culture, we can keep every player on this team, add a few more, and I think we're rocking next year, to be honest.
Big time. That's why I say, man, there is no excuses for us. We about to tap out. I got to go get my daughter.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you later. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you so much for tapping in. Once I get back on, we'll definitely tap in. You already know there's so much things to talk about, and I'll have some more draft prospects for the next live streams that we can be able to break down, bro.
And next time, man, I got some construction going on in my house, but I'll be on cam next time, brother. Appreciate you.
All right. Okay, brother. I'll talk to you, brother. All right, Cowboys Nation. I will talk to y'all soon. I appreciate y'all so much for tapping in with me. You already know, man, we got some more work to do on the back end. Make sure y'all look out for my next All 22. You know, we bring that fire. Shout out to the TikTok side, man. My guy B-Bird was talking on the other side. I got the headphones on, so y'all couldn't hear me, but it's all good. So make sure y'all tap in with me, JC Cowboys Network, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Gone.